build up to it as much as you want, but like go ahead and just kind of talk about what you've been experiencing and
Okay, so I'm
why.
gonna have a little one-on-one talk with the viewers here. I'm gonna tell you a secret, and nobody knows the secret except for like 5 people. So don't tell anybody, okay? This could be our
Exclusive.
secret. Yes, it's exclusive. We have a set date that it will be released. It's a huge, huge release. Very important.
So we're back. Welcome back to the Mister
And the sister
podcast with Trav
and
and
Lacey.
okay, because the people that are new and never have seen like me or anything, any of my other stuff that I do online, then you don't know who the heck we are. Like, so it's like because this whole podcast is probably gonna have like a totally different viewership than like my regular audience and stuff. So it's like I have to remember that sometimes. It's like I don't try to get an ego or anything. Like I'm not that type of person, but like I'm it's like I can't expect people to just carry over. So it's like, so hello, welcome. If it's the first time for you to like see us at all, we are a sibling podcast. This is like episode 7 or something like that, 7 or 8, something like that. But it's gonna creep up at some point on a year. By the way, like
Wow.
like way later though. I think like April or something. Like I think, or we started it in the summer or something like that. But it's gonna creep up because like we weren't consistent, and then now we brought it back like on like a roughly every 2 week basis. So it's like it's been back for the last like 3 or 4 episodes,
Yeah.
and so it's been a journey. It's been a journey, and we're getting better too because now you guys could see if you're watching it on YouTube. We have video now, which has been great for like short form content and stuff too. But if you're listening on Spotify, welcome as well. You can't see us, but you can hear us. This is a podcast, and Lacey is yawning. She's like, "Why'd you point it out?"
Mm-hmm.
But so before we get to like your announcement, there's something you want to announce. I do want to. I do want to watch something with you
Okay.
that I found that I watched the whole thing of, and I was like, can I share my screen and like be able to react to it with you and everything? Is it gonna work? So we just did a test before we recorded, and with StreamYard, I'm able to share a YouTube video on screen while we record. So let me make sure this is about 11 minutes long, but the whole thing is I love it so much. What this guy said was just absolute, like, he preached.
Is this gonna make me cry?
No,
Okay.
but it's like I would say because of the clip that they're reacting to, the original clip, I highly recommend anybody actually watch because these two are reacting to another podcast. It's Theo Vaughn's podcast called This Past Weekend. I listen to it like on a weekly basis. So whenever this episode dropped and Theo like got emotional, like I did actually cry. But the way that they edit this clip into a shorter version, it didn't really hit me as hard. But what he said about like the mental health aspect of it, because if you're tuning into this podcast for the first time, there's a lot that me and Lacey want to discuss over time. Like we're big advocates of mental health and talking about anxiety and like all those things that we struggle with, that millions of people struggle with on a daily basis. Because I truly believe in it. I believe you can, you know, just not necessarily give advice, but just like when you open up about stuff, you can like people can relate to you, and you know they can feel less alone, I guess, sort of in the whole situation. So, but I'm gonna share. Let me see. I'm gonna share my screen. Click that. Share. Okay, let me make sure this is looking the way I want it to. I guess what I could do is maybe full screen it. There we go. All right. Let me make sure the volume is good. Sorry, guys, this is the first time that I am doing this. All right.
I want to show you a clip of Theo Von with Sean Strickland. So Sean Strickland is the current UFC middleweight champion. And in a podcast with the two of them, he talks about some trauma that he's been through in his past.
Great.
You know what I'm talking about? Huh?
Yeah, man.
It's that
you ever
clip
heard
that
that?
you saw I shared with you one time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bud.
So, man.
I'm sorry, buddy. We don't have to talk, man. I can just sit here with you for a minute.
Oh, fuck. I think it's one of the hard things that people don't understand, like trauma, you know?
Yeah.
What do you see when you look at that?
Real quick before we continue, that clip, like, just I'll say this: the way, because people talk about it in the comments, that people, that's what Theo does. He's a comedian that also has a podcast, but his podcast gets so real because he has like some childhood trauma and stuff too. But he'll get very emotional and vulnerable like that because he relates to the people that has on, and the way that he gets so emotional, but he's able to like say, "Hey, like, we don't have to talk. I'll just sit with you for a minute." It was very powerful. The way that he was able to like, and even in the regular clip, it didn't take him long to say that. Like, he jumped right in and said it. Like, we don't have to talk, man. I'll just sit with you for a minute. It's very, like, he handled that beautifully.
Oh, I see a real vulnerable moment for somebody. Really vulnerable moment. Yeah, I think childhood trauma is, I think probably the biggest trauma for many people to overcome, because children, their brain waves are very slow. I mean, in alpha, in theta, and information goes in very quickly right into their subconscious. And I think that we figure out adaptive ways to not have to feel those emotions or not have to look at that past, but we're always aware of it. It's always there, right? It's but we don't really have a moment where we fully allow ourselves to experience it. And I think he had a moment where, by association, he let himself be vulnerable, which I think is great.
That video is, every single time I watch it, is very difficult to watch for me. And it's twofold. It's first off, someone that's become a professional hard person, right? He just punches people in the face. He likes violence. Him opening up and him struggling. And then Theo saying, "It's okay, man. We don't need to talk. We can just sit here for a while if you want." It's so beautiful.
Yeah. I think uncertainty, and I think that moment of vulnerability needs space. I think it needs space, and it needs time for the person to sit in that and allow themselves to fully feel it, right? And that's how it. You sit in it long enough, it goes away. It finally goes away.
What's your advice for somebody playing the Theo role? Someone's having a conversation with somebody else who is on the verge of opening up. They're on the cusp of feeling something uncomfortable or trying to open up about it. How can someone hold space more effectively?
Oh, I think all people really want to do is feel safe and feel loved, So again, I think he played that
Amen.
really, really well. And that is just let
Just to
that
feel
person know that
safe, it goes such a
you're
long
there
way.
for them, and give them the room to go as far as they want to go. And some people feel really safe when that happens, and I think they release it.
You mentioned before about this discomfort with feeling feelings. We live in a world which is very good at distracting us from feeling feelings. There are a whole host of drugs, philosophies, technologies, ways of thinking that can distract us away from feeling feelings. And if there's somebody that's listening to this and thinking to themselves, I don't think I'm feeling my feelings that fully, how can someone get back in the rhythm of feeling their feelings again?
Yeah, you got to sit with yourself. You got to take your device and set it in the other room. You got to shut it off and feel without that thing. And you got to think for yourself. And I think that kind of art of contemplation has been lost, because I think that process of self-reflection kind of is a building process neurologically in our brains. And so to we joke all the time with people who go through a week-long event. I say to them, when's the last time you sat with you this long till you finally like you? You sit with yourself long enough, those feelings are going to come up. They will come up, because you have nothing to do. You have nothing to do. Your inner world and how you're thinking and how you're feeling is going to become very obvious to you. And so I think people ask all the time, well, why is my health condition like this? What are the thoughts? What are the feelings that I need to change? It's really simple. Sit with yourself, and you'll know exactly what it is that you need to change. So, I think you got to create the time to invest in yourself. One of the things that I've discovered with many people that tell us stories of transformation is that they kind of have this kind of belief, like, I believe this stuff works. I just never believed it could work for me. I mean, that's a really, really fundamentally key moment in a person's evolution, because that means they actually have to change their belief. And that's sometimes, that means they got to come out of the resting state, and they got to choose themselves every day.
I see that with a lot of things, that's something that's nice, but for other people. That's something which I believe could be true. The data seems to be true, but that's not for me.
Yeah.
The weight loss isn't for me. The transformation isn't for me. The relationship that's healthy isn't for me. The group of friends that genuinely want the best for me isn't for me. It's like solipsism in a way.
It's persistent disbelief.
Yes, but only around you.
Of course. But all there is you. So that person then who's arguing for some limitation just doesn't believe that they can change their life. They don't believe that their thoughts have something to do with their destiny. They don't believe in possibility, because they don't believe in themselves.
Like that.
You cannot believe in possibility without believing in yourself. And
You can
if you
tell,
believe in
too, when
yourself,
people don't
that means you
believe
got to
in
believe in
themselves.
possibility. And that means then you got to do something. You got to get off the couch. You got to get up, and you got to get engaged in your world, and you got to be a creator.
This right here, what he says, I'm going to let it finish, but this right here is literally, like, it spoke to me so much because of, like, how much I have learned to use these tactics. Like, I'm a creator. There's stuff that I want to do, videos, podcasting, streaming, whatever. But the way that he's the way better worded than I could ever, but like the whole just like not only just creator as in content, but being the creator of your world. It's kind of like the way he worded it is very beautiful. But I'll let him preach.
In your life, and instead of a victim in your life. Now that's an easy thing to say, but it means you have to carve out some time for you. I mean,
Yes.
And when you invest in yourself, and invest in your future. Do it and get uncomfortable, and know that that's normal. That's natural. That's the unknown. Okay.
Yes.
If I keep making the same choices, I'm going to keep having the same health condition. If I keep doing the same things, I'm going to still have the same level of abundance. Okay, so I got to start making changes. It's not that hard to do it if you really want to do it. I mean, if you really want to do it, then you'll invest in yourself. Now, for me, I think everybody to some degree, Chris, believes that they have a hand in creating their life unless they've had a really, really horrible childhood and past. But on some level, people believe it, right? So people say, well, yeah, okay, so I believe that I can get the car, I can get the vacation, I can get the new home, I can get the relationship, I can get the second home, I don't know, whatever it is that people want. But the way they're going to do it is, okay, I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to study a lot. There's nothing wrong with this, by the way. I'm going to be trained. I'm going to learn. I'm going to make a bunch of wrong choices. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. And then I'm going to get really good at gathering a lot of things and doing these things. Okay, I've created a certain degree in my life. But people who really, really start shortening the distance between the thought of what they want and experience of having it, something changes. They may say, oh, I have the belief that I create my life in some way. But is it possible that it's more than the synchronicity? You know, more than the parking space, more than thinking of a friend and they call you. Like, everybody kind of accepts that as kind of, oh, that's possible. Well, why don't I take it to the next level? I mean, what if you could actually do more of that? Like, is that a belief that you can begin to embrace? So that means if you believe that on some level, that you can create something greater of greater magnitude, of greater amplitude, that means then you'd have to get involved in the experience a little bit more. That means I'd have to believe, how could I possibly do that? Like, what would it take for me to do that? And so people evolve their belief around creation when they start seeing bigger synchronicities happen in their life, like the opportunity, the job, the phone call, the synchronicity, the coincidence that's bigger than the parking space because they're investing in themselves. Now, here's the cool part. The moment they have that synchronicity and it has something to do with what they're doing inside of them, they're going to pay attention to what they did inside of them. They're going to do it again. They're going to believe now, oh, I actually am the creator of my life. I'm no longer the victim of my life. Keep practicing that over time. Keep getting better at it. You don't have to go anywhere and do anything to get things. Somehow, they seem to come to you. Somehow, the opportunity is coming to you and you're not having to do it. Now, that's another way to create. And that we're all creators. So taking time to be a creator, taking time to invest in yourself, taking time to get involved in the experiment. This is an experiment to measure the effects of you at cost, right? So do it really good one way and then find out a way, if there's a way to flow, if there's a way to change, that it all of a sudden allows your environment to change around you when you change. That's when the experiment gets exciting.
In other news, this episode is brought to you by...
No, not a sponsor. But all right, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me stop the screen real quick. But no,
That's good.
It just really spoke to me. That was, if you guys haven't checked out the video, I'll link it on the YouTube page, and I think I'll be able to link that on Spotify as well. But that is Dr. Joe Dispenza reacts to Theo Von and Sean Strickland. I haven't, as a matter of fact, I need to subscribe to Sean. No, not Sean Strickland. That's the UFC fighter. I'm telling Chris Williamson, the one that made this video. I like his stuff. I just haven't. I'll maybe watch that and like one other thing. But I just think like people need to hear that more. Like, it just spoke to me so much because that's like the phase of my life that I'm in right now, is in this experimentation mode of knowing that if I don't get out and try something new that I'm like, at first I'm uncomfortable doing, which like for me has been like fitness in any sort of way. Like, I force myself to do push-ups. I force myself to like try my best to go to the gym, even though I'm never going to want to do it. Like, and it's always like first thing. Like, if I mean, it doesn't have to be first thing. Like, I've seen Joe Rogan talk about it. Like, he sometimes will get an afternoon workout in instead because he might have to record his podcast first or whatever. And it's like, as long as you get it in, then it's like you feel better after. And it's like, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. There's a lot there to that. There's definitely a lot of relatability right now for me of that, like, the experimentation part, getting uncomfortable to do stuff that you don't want to do so that you could feel better doing the stuff that you want to do, like or stuff that you've never tried before, like multiple YouTube channels for me, like, like the Twitch thing, the streaming, I've kind of pulled back a little bit from it as of late just because of the dedicating of the time to do it is kind of tough sometimes, like to stream for a couple hours or more. But like it was super uncomfortable at first because it's so different than making content. Like making content is its own, like you get to just kind of do what?
I said you can edit it.
Yeah, you could edit it, but I mean, but also like even for me right now, like I have an editor, so it's like so it's even easier for me right now to just like film for like an hour and then kind of be done with it until it's out. And like streaming is its own, like dedicating the time to entertain. You don't have to like overthink it and be super entertaining, but like but you kind of know what that feels like because like you and Kevin recently did a TikTok live. So you know, like even without doing it like consistently yet, you know that feeling of like you want to do it, but then once you're in there, it's like I'm dedicating a lot of time right now.
Yeah.
Whenever you could be productive elsewhere. So I'm sort of in this transition phase of only doing the things that I absolutely love. And that I want to grow in. Like, and I, like, even with this podcast, like, this is like, and because I've podcasted so many times in the past, I'm able to kind of take what I know about it into this and, like, try to do it the best that I know how. But it's like, it's truly like a passion project. Just being able to have conversations and, you know, so it's about kind of weeding out, kind of trimming out things out of your life, I think, that don't bring you happiness. I feel like life's just too short. And I mean, I can go on and on about stuff like that. It's, but what is your overall, like, I know, okay, like, so, okay, like, if people don't know this yet about our podcast, like, and just us in general, is like, I round it to 12 years. There's like a 12-year gap between us, but it's roughly like 11 and a half. But
I
like,
was like 14.
I thought it was 12. I don't know. I
But
mean,
yeah.
because you're about to, I mean, I'm 31. You're about to turn 20. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, okay, yeah, it is 11 years. I don't know why I thought it was 14. My brain is.
But like I said, I pretty much, unless I'm wrong, I mean, let me know in the comments, guys. If she's about to turn 20.
No, I just did the math. It's 11 years.
Okay. So, like, I don't know. But, so, there is, so I hate using this card because it sounds such like a, like, I'm older than you thing. I don't like using that. But, like, you're still young, so you have this, like, you're in that part of your life where, like, you're definitely going to start learning, like, you're already learning adulthood, obviously, but, like, all these things that he talked about, it's kind of like, I feel like it only benefits you hearing something like that from, like, a doctor, like, say these things sort of early on in your life, like, but it's stuff that obviously, like, you've already thought about, and, like, because we've had, guys, like, Lacey's very mature for her age. Just because she's about to be 20, it's like she always said that she's, like, feels, like, kind of closer to my age, or, like, you know, the wisdom of a 25-year-old, like, let's put it like that, or like, I don't know, but I don't know, what do you take from stuff like that? Like, what, because I feel like especially young people need to take in something like that, like what he said about experiment in your life, and especially with the whole, like, you have to, like he said, get off the couch, like you gotta do it, you know, but also taking time for yourself and relaxation. But like, I'm personally in this learning phase right now of, like, what he said about taking time for yourself to think about what you truly want to do. it is hard to step away and think. And I've had many nights where I'm just overwhelmed with like, I want to do all these things, but what are the main things? And sometimes I really don't know. And you're not going to figure it out in one night. You have to process it and meditate on it if you want. I do that sometimes where I'm just like, controlling my breathing and like, and also just like what I've realized with the streaming thing is I wasn't taking care of my health because I'm just like waking up, drinking caffeine, and just like trying to stream on my days off. And I've realized that was something I needed to add more. And this is a very recent thing. It was definitely a realization that I need to add more to my life is fitness. Like, and take care of my body, take care of myself so that I can feel better doing the things that I love. And it makes a world of a difference, because if you're just trying to do the things that you love while you feel terrible, it's exhausting, and you get burnt out way faster than if you went into it feeling good, because then you don't have all that junk like going on in your head. It's hard to explain, but I know a lot of especially older people would know what I mean. But what do you personally take from that?
Yeah, kind of what you said. Just get off the couch and go experiment, go try new things. And I think that looks different from somebody at my age versus your age. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, just go out and meet new friends. Don't settle. Like, people say you can settle in relationships. I mean, I think you can settle in friend groups too. Just be comfortable with the friends that you have now and not try to meet new people, make new friends, try new things, go to new places. Like, I think that's important. And, like, for
Right.
example, right now I'm trying to find work, which like, I'm not trying to be too picky, but also, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just one of those situations. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're like, well, just go to, like, get, like, not dressed up, but dress pretty formally, go to places and, like, print out your resume and say, I want a job. Like, if I'm applying and calling and nobody's getting back, then take it to the next step and be more serious about it. If I really want something, then go prove it to them, go get it. Like, I can't just, oh, I submit an application, now I'm just going to wait. Like, yeah, you can do that to an extent, but if you really want a job, then go prove that point. Like, go
Right.
in person. So I think that's something that I'm working on now, is just learning how to step out of my comfort zone and be like, oh, well, they have the application for a reason. Like, nothing's going to hurt if I print out my resume, go hand it to them, and be like, I want a job here, and you are hiring. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. So that's kind of what I'm taking from it now.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing that you are learning that at such a young age is like is the whole stepping out of your comfort zone thing. Definitely something that I put off trying to learn, especially at your age. But then there's just it's weird how your mind just like, if you're a pretty clear-headed person and a smart person, it's like, and you try to think outside the box, it's like one day you realize that is the way to live. Like, it's like it takes, maybe it just takes something to happen in people's lives for you to realize you got to get out of your comfort zone. But I mean, it's hard because obviously it's the opposite of what you want to do. Like, it's like you want to just be comfortable. Like, everybody just wants to be in a safe space. But sometimes, like, I'm not going to say where I work now. I mean, because it's not a big deal either. It's not like this big thing. But, like, that was getting out of my comfort zone because I've never worked at a place like that before. And I was terrified to go in my first day. And then it was just like pretty much by the second or third, it was just like, oh, okay. Like, I'm relaxed now. But it's, like, weird how you have so much fear for, like, no reason at all. And then it just, yeah. And so you just learn. And I think, there's a lot of people today that are just, like, maybe due to health conditions or whatever, like, they just still live so comfortably with, like, their parents or whatever. And I'm not, I'm not to judge that. Like, if you are happy, then great. But, like, I always kind of believe deep down there's gotta be an inner struggle, though, sometimes with people that are have perfectly good health and can, like, actually get out there and just choose not to. Because I've also learned from that, and I've lived that life, so it's like kind of, so I can relate to, no, trust me, like, it's better to get out and try to find something you love. Like even if it takes like you to get just a job you don't want until you can get to that point, like there's always a stepping stone. Like I think people get in such a rush to like get to the end goal, and it's like there's a build up to that you have to climb. And it's rough. You're gonna go through it, but if you want to see the other side and be in the light, then you gotta go through the mud, I guess. And you never know. You might. I'm not saying shortcut, but you might. It might take less time than you expected because you at least you went out there and you tried. You know, it's like you go and you're going through the mud. It's like it feels like it's gonna be like a 10-year thing that you got to go through this to save the money to get the thing that you want. And then you realize opportunities start coming to you, just like he said. Like he was saying it in more of a way of like you try all these things, then you realize opportunities are coming to you because you're out there. But like it takes a little bit of time to get to that point of like success, where it's like actors literally live a life of like dying for a job, like needing a job, and these huge months and months periods of time of like not getting any work. And then once they start being in even a little bit of movies, they start getting eyeballs on them, then people call them for different movies. So it's just a snowball effect of opportunities to start coming to you. Acting, though, completely different than a lot of things in the regular people world, but the same concept of just like you put yourself out there, stuff starts coming to you, and it just takes that step. And some of you listening right now probably like you know what that thing is. Like I know how it feels too. Like in the back of your mind, there's that thing that like you've put off, you procrastinated. Trust me, coming from the king of procrastination, like been through it all. Like it's you know what that thing is that you are passionate about. So just do it. Rather that's making a YouTube channel or starting a podcast, whatever. Just hit record for the first time, and it'll be like, and even if you don't put it out, it'll be like a weight comes off of you just because you did it. Like, when I procrastinate something for too long, it literally builds up. I like imagine as like a black ball of like just like something that it just needs to be like in the light, like needs to be released. Like it's just not healthy. It builds up, you beat yourself up about it, and it kind of causes like a mental health kind of problem because you're sitting on it for so long, and it's just not good. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know. I mean, this kind of stuff I love talking about because it's so, I think it's life-changing stuff. It really is. Like it's stuff I think people need to hear more. Especially with the way people are just like on their phones now. Like just like you can enjoy your apps, whatever, but like what do they say? It's like what's that word they use? That's like only so much.
Moderation.
Yes, use it in moderation. Like movies, video games, phones, like just use it in moderation. Like this stuff is very addictive. But
I think I have a new title for this episode.
what?
It's Lacey Takes a Nap. And you talk while I sleep.
Just that's it.
Yeah.
Just like I'm like a recorded audio book.
No, it's like Lacey fell asleep, and I just fall asleep in the podcast, and then you just talk the rest of the way.
Yeah, just talk and then like yeah.
Yeah, just talk to yourself. I'm listening.
I mean, like I definitely would not take it as talking to myself. I would take it as like, I mean, it's still in the episode and it's for others, but it's out there. But I mean, well, okay. So while we're talking about that, I feel like I feel like it was better that we just have what?
I said, oh goodness.
I feel like that's a good way to transition about you being tired. So, so Lacey is obviously a little off, but it's just because she's exhausted. But the exhaustion is for a particular reason, and I wanted to kind of like get all of that and watching that video with you and stuff out of the way so we can build up to it a little more. I forgot I'm still on YouTube right here. Okay. But so build up to it as much as you want, but like go ahead and just kind of talk about what you've been experiencing.
Okay,
And
so I'm
why.
gonna have a little one-on-one talk with the viewers here. I'm gonna tell you a secret, and nobody knows the secret except for like 5 people. So don't tell anybody, okay? It's gonna be a great
Exclusive.
secret. Yes, it's exclusive. We have a set date that it will be released. It's a huge, huge release. Very important. I'm just joking. It's really not that big of a deal to other people. What? Okay. Anyway,
To you, it's a very big deal.
to me, it's a very big deal. So as you probably noticed, probably not.
I did it. I made a human.
I'm making a human, and making a human is very different than I thought it was. I was like, okay, so I'm gonna find out I'm pregnant, and then I'm gonna be so excited, and I'm gonna start making the nursery and cleaning out the room. And I've been asleep for like 18 hours a day. Every time I move, I'm like gagging, heartburn.
Yeah, like when
Dude,
she mutes her camera and stuff, just know that
yeah,
she's just trying to make it through the episode.
yeah. I'm excited to be out of my first trimester. That's when everything's get better. I still have like 12 weeks before I'm out of my first trimester. So yeah, yeah. You're gonna be an uncle, and I told you that on Friday. Yeah, I told you Friday. I don't think it's sunk in for me yet, so I don't know if it's sunk in for you yet. But like,
No.
it's not gonna be Angel anymore. It's gonna be a baby. That's crazy. Yeah, like Friday whenever I talked to you, it wasn't confirmed by like doctors or anything. I just peed on a stick, and it said pregnant, and I was like, okay. I don't want to make it seem like we weren't prepared for this. This was very much wanted. Like, we are so happy, so excited, so nervous. Like, we've been asked by the few people we told, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, we're not nervous to be parents. We're nervous for pregnancy more than anything. Like, it can be scary. It can also be exciting and like fun, but the first trimester is like risky, and you're sick, and it's complicated, and like, yeah. But yeah, we're super excited, super happy.
Do you want to tell them a little bit about you finding out and what that was like?
Yeah.
Just for like,
So
maybe there's some like people trying to get pregnant out there right now that I don't know, just a little insight of what that's like.
I'm not gonna get emotional. Let me also add that
Get
hormones.
emotional. Get emotional.
No,
More
I ain't
views.
crying. I ain't crying. I'm either gonna do one of 3. I'm gonna cry, fall asleep, or throw up. Who knows?
3 completely different things all at once.
So I have infertility issues, and it took us it feels like a long time. I think whenever August is whenever we started trying, and we didn't really tell anybody at first that we were trying. Multiple doctor's appointments. I have endometriosis. That's kind of like my thing. And some people with endometriosis have trouble. Some people don't. I had a lot of trouble, and we were really stressed out. Like, it's hard. Like, every month, seeing negative tests every single month, and like thinking you see something and maybe you do, and then we had a couple situations where like there was something, but then like it just pretty much the baby has to implant in your uterus, and sometimes that's not strong enough. Like, your egg is not strong enough to do that. So then it just like nothing happens with that. And then so last month, I guess it would be like technically whatever last month was, January. They're like, we're just gonna take some time, and we're not gonna try. Like, we're not gonna try anything. We're not gonna prevent. We're not gonna try, like, TMI, whatever. But I think it's the realness of like fertility. Like, but we just relaxed. And I was like, whatever's supposed to happen will happen. And it happened. And like I have a window of time during the month where I normally take tests. And Friday, Kevin asked me, he's like, "Do you have any tests?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, are you not taking them?" I'm like, "No, we didn't try. I can't be pregnant. We tried for so long and I didn't get pregnant." "What do you mean?" Like I said, "I'm kind of going to be upset if this is the month we get pregnant after all those times of trying." So we got a test, and then we were just hanging out with our friends, and I went into their kid's bathroom to take a test because I was like, "Oh, can I have to use the bathroom right now? I'm just gonna take a test because he bought these for me, and it's gonna be negative." I took it, put it back in the box, went in there, hung out with my friends for a little bit, went in there. I set up my phone and record because I always record when I take a test. And I pulled it out of the box, and I saw the 2 lines, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I actually have the test right there. Like it's sitting on the table because I was taking a picture of it earlier. One of my
Right.
friends that know asked, but yeah, I saw the 2 lines and I just stared at it. Like in my videos, and it was a good minute of me just staring at the test. And I was so shocked, confused, like it never, like I said, whenever you're struggling with fertility, then I'm sure that you know this if anybody's watching, like there's always like months where you think you see something and then you don't, then you think another one. This was like there. It was like positive. And I was like, there's no mistaking that for maybe I see something, maybe I don't. Like there was 2 lines. So I called Kevin in the bathroom. He's like, "No, you're not. That's fake. Take another one. I don't believe you." And we were both in shock. We both cried. Then we told our best friends, and we all cried. And then, yeah, it was like, it still hasn't sunk in. I've had 2 doctor's appointments now, and it still hasn't sunk in. Like,
Right.
yeah. But I think once we see like the ultrasound pictures and know the gender, then I think it'll be boy. I think it'll be it'll sink in more. But right now, it's just like I'm feeling all these symptoms, all these things, and I know that there's a baby inside of me. Yeah, can't talk about that. And yeah. So that's kind of my past week, or a little over a week. But anyway, yeah. And I actually have a podcast idea for you, and we may do this on my TikTok. I want to quiz you on pregnancy. See how much you
Okay.
know.
Not a lot.
Yeah. Because I was gonna I'll ask you this question now because you probably need to know it anyway. Do you know what pregnancy brain is?
It sounds familiar, but no, I know
Yeah.
nothing about it.
Pregnancy brain is kind of like mom brain, I guess you could say. It's just your hormones and stuff are messing with you, so you're forgetting everything. Like you are so forgetful, your brain is like, so it's like normally how mine is, but like times 5. And yeah, so that's why I was saying the episodes are gonna look a little bit different with me being in my first trimester, being sick and exhausted and all that kind of stuff. But also, I'm gonna be all over the place for a little bit. But like I said, viewers, don't tell nobody.
You there listening, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm excited about sort of in a way, like in a really beautiful sort of way, like the podcast will be able to sort of document it over
Yeah.
time because, eventually you're going to get, bigger and and it'll be cool. Like it'll be interesting. It kind of like, obviously we're gonna build this podcast, and like I'm not like in it. I'm not like saying that I'm in a rush to like get viewers or whatever, but there's this feeling of like I kind of wish there were more right now to like experience that with you, but also I had it like get viewers now so that they can be on that journey with you a little more. But we still have time for that. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter. The content is going out, and we're experiencing it just in our personal life as well. And so it's yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's not Dr. Pepper, but
Dr. Pepper and hot Cheetos.
yeah, that's like she told me the other day she was having flaming hot Cheetos cravings, and
Yeah.
apparently that's a
Cra-
mom thing.
Yeah, cravings start really early in pregnancy, which I didn't know. My first pregnancy symptom, if there's anybody out there that's wondering, because I'm always curious about what other people's first pregnancy symptom, sleeping so much. I took like there was a 5 day span where I took like at least hour long, if not 2 hour long naps. I never take naps, and I didn't have my nap today, so that's why I'm a little bit more tired. Um, but yeah, I was so tired, like sleeping 12 hours and then sleeping another like two during the day, and I was
That's crazy
so
how
confused.
fast it affects
Yeah.
you.
It's
Cause
I think it's just a hormone shift. Like it's
mhm.
yeah, it's crazy. And like for example, today I had to go get my blood draw, and HCG is a hormone in pregnancy, and it doubles every 48 hours. So for the first like trimester, then it starts dropping a little bit whenever you get further along, which is crazy. So every 48 hours, I'm having double the amount of hormone that my body's not used to. So that's like it's wild. Um, my body's never experienced this hormone before because I've never been pregnant, obviously, like not for very long anyway, but that's a different story. Um, but no, like I'm the farthest along I've ever been, and every 48 hours the number doubles, and like eventually within the next 4 or 5 weeks, then I'll be at like more than I can comprehend. Like by that time that we will know the gender and see the baby and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, like pregnancy, I've heard so many people say it goes by slow but also fast. And I already feel like this week has flew by, and we only have like a few more weeks before we see the baby and get the blood test for the gender. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Not to go into too much detail, but like, did you because I got a certain text from a certain somebody today. Did you tell this person to not tell anybody?
Yes.
Do you think that she's gonna abide by the rules? Or do you think it's already happened? Like literally as you're talking, I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, oh, like it's like I realized just now while we record. Oh crap, she knows. Like just, oh crap, oh no, like because I haven't really responded to what she said, but because it's kind of like, well, I already kind of knew.
Yeah, I did text this person, or I did call this person last night, and I did tell them that you already knew.
I figured,
So,
but I just
but
yeah,
I did tell this person, do not tell anybody. So if y'all break that rule, I'm never talking to you again.
I'm never podcasting again. Like as
Um,
if like we're this big podcast that's on this like celebrity
yeah,
level of like
you will
oh the
never see
internet.
me again.
No, like because if that happened and you needed to keep it more, if we were a way bigger podcast, I would probably have not allowed you to announce it yet
Yeah, I wouldn't
because
have.
because yeah. Like it's
Um,
brutal. Like people like on the internet will just make stuff up about you that don't even exist anyway and like hope it's real. I hope that they're like that weird and an abuser or something because they need to be canceled. It's like they don't know. Like a lot of people get information wrong so much.
anything on a podcast, you're probably gonna see that a lot. My bad. I
It's
need
what
a
it is.
little snack.
Snacky snack.
What was I gonna say? Oh, my biggest fear? No, two things I was gonna say. One, whenever you talk about more views earlier, please don't view it within the next like 3 episodes because I'm not ready to tell everybody. But secondly, whenever I was thinking about announcing on the podcast, I was like, yeah, but then my luck would be like one of an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend is like stalking us and comes and watches the podcast, and they're like, oh my gosh, when they post this all over, yeah, like, that's probably very like not gonna happen, but wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
Like we've told the closest people to us that we want to tell in person. Facebook,
Yeah, and
Facebook
otherwise
announcements
it's nobody
different.
else's business.
Uh-huh.
I think people live in this world where they think that everyone's business is their business, and like I'll be the first one to say no, because I'm pretty open about mental health and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm a pretty reserved person when it comes to online. I really don't like sharing everything, and I get this feeling whenever like I want to post stuff, I can't get past the like cringe of like, oh, a Facebook post. Like it's like there's no, unless I just really want to, like I even hold back on updating my viewers on my main channel stuff. I need to be better about that. But sometimes I do want to just like open up a little more, and it's hard sometimes because I'm so reserved.
Um,
I think it's just my introverted side. I don't know what to blame it on other than just being an introvert. Like I think that's all it is. Like your privacy is your privacy.
I didn't even think about this. Is Ash already an aunt?
I mean, I guess technically.
Like, no, I mean, like, does she have a niece or nephew already?
No. Like
Does her
she,
siblings have any kids?
no.
Okay. Well, then she's going to be an aunt. I'm not sure if she was made aware of that, but I'm sure that you did.
Yeah, I told her, and I told her not to tell anybody. So,
Well, I forgot to tell Ashley, so I figured that message was already,
it's not, I mean, it's a big deal, but she's not
yeah.
freaking out or
She,
anything.
yeah, she probably wasn't surprised.
No, yeah, no, because I think she kind of. I mean, it's like it. For me, it's still that feeling of just like, wait, weren't you already? Like, it's just like
Yeah.
because it was like y'all have had so much happen when it comes to pregnancy lately in such a short amount of time that
Yeah.
it's like, like I had to remind myself, like, oh, this really is like the one.
Yeah, this is the one. Like, there's actually, I know for sure, at least one of my doctors lying to me, that there's a tiny human inside, and that creeps me out. No, I'll have to get used to it.
Yeah,
Um,
you. I mean, no offense, but you're gonna have to get used to it for several months.
there's no going back. Like, okay, nope, we're not gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk about it.
Hey, you could look at it like this. If it's a normal pregnancy in a normal amount of time, then it's like it's less than a year. Like the
Oh
whole
yeah, like
experience, like that's actually kind of cool. I've always thought that when it comes to pregnant moms and stuff, like,
only have.
well, at least they don't have to like. So if they get pregnant, then a certain amount of time, like, so if someone got pregnant January 1st, it's like before the end of the year that thing's coming out. So it's like
Yeah, I'm
unless something
due. I
happens,
didn't even tell you my due date. I'm
which
due
will
in
probably change. But yeah, what is it?
Yeah, I'm due. Well, as my blood work says that I'm measuring as far along as I thought I was, but the due date's definitely going to change, or unless it. Anyway, October 17th. I have 36 weeks left. Like that's a short amount of time. Imagine how fast a week goes by.
Mm-hmm.
I only have 36 of those weeks. That's too
Man,
fast.
October. That'd
Yeah,
be crazy.
it seems so far away,
Halloween,
but
baby.
yeah. And like,
Who knows? That might change, get a little delayed, and then be closer to Ashley's birthday,
when is Ashley's birthday?
30th.
Gotcha. It's probably not.
Probably not, no. But I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
I don't really hear about a lot of October birthdays.
yeah. But it's either going to be September or October. I have a feeling it's going to be September. Because that's only like 2.5-ish weeks early, and people like can get induced early and stuff. And I really have a feeling that it's going to be September. My biggest fear of having an October baby is having a baby for the holidays. If any moms watch this, I know
Jeez.
what it's because flu and RSV are so like bad then, and we'll literally have a newborn. And I done told some of the family, I'm like, listen, I'm probably not gonna make it to Thanksgiving. I'm gonna have a 4-week old.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. I'll
And don't
probably
let
be at
anybody
home.
hold it against you because you'll have a
But we planned.
free ticket card, free excuse, basically. Hall
We didn't-
pass.
We didn't try like I said, like we did. This month was not on purpose. We wanted a baby so bad, but this month, like I said, we planned it perfectly. Because Kevin is so blessed with his job. He gets a month off, like paternity leave. He gets a month off. He's gonna go back for 2 weeks. Thanksgiving break a week. He's gonna go back for 2 weeks. 2-week Christmas break. He gets like 2 whole months off, which is crazy. Like we didn't even think about that. So yeah, I mean, we're already thinking ahead of stuff like that. We're thinking of baby names, gender reveal stuff. I mean, all the planning, all the things until it actually hits me that like I'm actually growing a human, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, wait, what?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Right
you wanted
now-
it. You wanted
Yeah.
it. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
you didn't, and then now you're being forced into parenting.
Yeah.
Like you,
Definitely.
you already
not.
have experience with kids, and
Yeah,
that's
a lot
gonna
of
go a long
experience.
run because you've done a lot of babysitting, a lot of aunting, whatever you want to call it, with like your friends' children and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. Like I
Um,
think y'all will do okay, and yeah, just there'll be a lot of learning.
Yeah.
So it'll be your own, not somebody else's. It'll be a lot of like, oh, I don't get to send this one home. It is
Yeah.
home. Like crap. So, you know,
We're super
think
excited for that.
so.
I'm also super excited to know, like, knock on your door and be like, here you go. And, no, I'm joking. I wouldn't do that. But I am excited to watch you be an uncle and learn all the baby things. Like, that's gonna be crazy to me. Like, whenever I see you holding the baby, then I'm like, okay, wait,
Wait
you're
a
too old
second.
now.
After holding you when you were
Yeah,
born.
I
It's just
know.
nuts.
Yeah, crazy.
One day,
But
I'll let the podcast grow a little more, but one day I might try to get that on my PC and be able to pull it up.
yeah, I don't even think I have that picture, honestly.
But like I think the only one is who we were talking about earlier, and so I need to just hit her up and be like, "Hey, I want to be able to get this whatever you call it, scanned digitally where I can have it. I can get it like I think you could do that where you go to like Walmart and get even when you get copies. I think there's a way to like get an email where you get the HD version sent to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll have to do that because I'd like that. I have folders on my computer now where I'm trying to like, for one, empty my phone, and because now I have photos of like somebody that we won't talk about it right now, but somebody that we lost and like and stuff like that. So it's kind of like I've realized I want that more. I want more pictures. Like I don't. And I, for one, don't take enough pictures of anything. I'm trying to get better about that. It can just get overwhelming because it's like storage and just like whatever. But but I want more. I want more stuff of like stuff that's like from the past that I never get to see, I guess. And it's kind of like a reminder of things. But yeah, so look forward to that, guys. Somewhere out there, there is. I'm just gonna, since you said 11, I'll just say 11. There's 11-year-old me holding little Lacey the night she was born, and it's crazy.
We're gonna have to recreate that photo with this one.
So
The
like I
being.
hold you like no,
No, that would be funny,
It's
though.
like if I mean I don't have a lot of upper body strength, but if I did, like since I'm going to the gym and I'm getting into fitness, maybe one day I can
You have 9 months.
I could do the oh man, I just thought of that. I just thought of that too. Like if I tried it while you were pregnant, it'd be even harder. Like, oh god.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even trust that because
No, I wouldn't either.
I don't want to
I don't
drop
even
you.
trust myself.
Like I'll be the reason that he got dropped, like or whatever, you know, like oh he's a little got a couple screws loose.
See, everybody's been calling it a he. Everybody.
I mean, it's not. I guess it's just because I'm a guy, and so it's like my just go to. But like, it's hard. I feel like it's harder for me to just assume what it's gonna be, like a she or a he, versus just saying like it. I don't like. I've never liked saying it about anything.
Yeah. I've been calling it Little Bean because it's so little. It's the size of a bean right now. Actually, but I never thought a bean could produce so much hormones to throw me off so badly. Anyway,
I just realized something. Like, so if it is a boy,
mhm.
and because of our bloodline,
Mhm.
it'll basically be like
Mm.
a little Kevin, but also like a little me.
Yeah.
Which is really bizarre for me to think about because he's going to take some of your look, which actually I take that back. It probably won't be much of a me. It'll be a, I don't know. It's weird because like it could go either way because
Yeah.
I feel like you, and I'm sure you heard this already, and I don't know how you feel about this or what your opinion on your own face and stuff is, but like you definitely took from Peggy a lot. I think more than you did your dad. I would say that's confirmed. Like I don't know what you did take from your dad because I can't
kind
really.
of, yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really see myself in either, but I've been told both.
Right.
So, yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
But I don't see a lot of you in anybody either.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. It can't be denied though that me and Peggy are twins though, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
mean,
it's
just
kind of
because
one of
you're a
those things
guy.
that's hard to imagine until you're like, we're side by side. And then I also see it because I see when I'm looking at like pictures of high school me and stuff like that. Obviously, like I've got a lot older, so I'm like getting more. It's weird to say like further away from her, but then there's also a part of that that's like, but because I'm getting older and because she's like 50 something, it's like I'm gonna get closer to her now
Yeah.
as I age and like slowly get more wrinkles. So I mean, I don't know.
I wasn't going to talk about this, but now I kind of am.
Go ahead.
Because this is a very rare possibility. My levels for HCG and in my blood, like the hormone I was telling you about, yeah, are kind of high.
Oh yeah.
And I found out really early on. I'm not saying nothing. I told you that HCG doubles every 48 hours. If there's 2 babies, it
Oh
like
boy.
quadruples. So what was it? My great grandpa on my dad's side is a twin, and Kevin's great grandpa on his dad's side is a twin. And like the way that his family goes, then Kevin would be next for twins. So if there's 2 babies, Lord help me.
Man, you could be like my friends Tyler and Cassidy. They had twins, but they were male and female, that's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I think it's more rare. I
no,
don't know the facts on that, but I think it's more rare.
Yeah. So it can either go 2 ways, I'm pretty sure. Like it's 2 separate pregnancies and 2 separate yolk sacs like in your body, or it's 2 babies in 1 sac with 1 placenta. and like one, the placenta is like with all the vitamins and stuff like that. Like it can either be 2 or 1, and if it's 1, then it's identical. 2, it's like paternal or whatever. So if fraternal has to be boy and girl, like no, boy and girl has to be fraternal because you can't have an identical boy and girl. So yeah, that's how that works. I've been reading a lot, obviously, on this. But if there's 2 babies,
Any mom out there that is listening, please, if you've already had your baby, you know, if you have like a little 5-year-old or whatever, no matter, or if you're right on, well, if you're right on the edge of pregnancy, whatever, like either one, leave your knowledge in the comments.
yeah. Tell me if
Your
I'm wrong about
knowledge.
anything, because I probably am.
And if any of you have had, this is probably more rarity to actually find people like this, but if any of you have had twins, even if you're a dad, it doesn't have to be a mom, even if you're a dad, let us know the knowledge. How rare is that? Because
Yeah. So pretty much if we have twins, then we get one and you get one, and then we're set.
well, we need, like Theo and like a lot of other podcasters, I would love to have. I mean, this would be harder to line up because we just do it ourselves. But I would love to have a producer on standby that looks up stuff, like even if he's like on screen or whatever, like just like
Kevin.
looked. I don't think Kevin would actually want. I don't think he would want to dedicate the time. No offense, Kevin, but I just don't think that you would want to dedicate the time to do it.
Kevin Van He's snoring.
But I mean, but hey, one day now that we know that the share screen works really well and it's actually nice and crisp, and I thought it was going to be super laggy because I remember doing that a long time ago on like live streams, but I guess live streams are just different than recording. So anyway, we can Google our own stuff at any point in time, and
I just
actually
need, like,
visually see it.
My computer right here, and just yeah.
I mean, there's like phones, but I would rather like the information, just like like professional video podcasts. They have it like pulled up on screen. You know how many times Joe Rogan is just talking to a guest, and then it's like, "Hey," and then I forgot the dude's name. I think it's like Sean or something. Sean, bring that up, and they have like a big monitor in their studio. But that's
That would be
that's so
the dream.
that's so they can read Wikipedia and stuff like that. But yeah, we could do that in the future. Just learn more about pregnancy.
Yeah. I do really want to do a pregnancy quiz though.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that next if you want to like get it kind of planned in your brain, like that one can kind of be
Do that tomorrow.
your tomorrow.
Like I'll write it down tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying. I was like, no, we're recording right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm
But
not.
no, but yeah, we can plan that for next episode. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
But guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I really got to use the bathroom, so I've been kind of holding that for at least 10 minutes. So, just what can I say about earlier that video? Just like I say this probably every podcast, but make yourself uncomfortable. Do things like not that makes it sound weird, like that you have to do things you don't want to do. Like make yourself uncomfortable so you learn. Like go and learn something. Go and learn how to do something new because it might take off. It might be something that you enjoy. Any quick advice for the audience?
Step out of your comfort zone, like you just said, and if you're pregnant, I'm sorry.
Pregnant, I'm sorry.
Like the exhaustion is so real, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be doing a Q&A next episode. See how much he knows about what I'm going through.
Literally nothing. I mean, I'm sorry, women, but I'm happy to be a guy. I just like, I know that sounds super ego friendly, but it's like, I could not, I feel like it's funner to be the man. Like, it's like, you get to just,
Easier.
yeah. So it's like, that's
Yeah.
it. But with that, guys, we love you, and we'll talk to you next time.
Peace out.
Peace.